In this video we are going to break down a few touches from this bout of the 2023 Seoul Grand Prix where Emura absolutely dominates Battiston. This is an absolute masterclass from Emura and I think we can learn a lot from it. Okay, so straight away we have an attack on preparation by Emura. Now let's look at both fencers' preparations, i.e. how they move immediately after the ref says fence. Emura takes two very small steps forward and pauses in this very balanced position, low on her legs, with a front leg loaded so she can go back and a back leg loaded so she can go forward. Another key thing to note is she actually does a tiny pause in this position before she does anything else. By breaking it down like this, it kind of exaggerates this pause a lot, but in real time it's a bit more subtle. But this pause is actually really crucial to why she won this point. Because by preparing like this, Emura has sacrificed initiative in favour of balance and control. She hasn't seized the attack from the first step, but she's still in a really good position to either retreat and make miss, or attack on preparation. Battiston, on the other hand, has taken the initiative on the first step. She prepared a lot bigger, faster and deeper, so she has the advantage that if from here they were both to launch extensions of their arms, her attack would take priority. However, Emura has created a lot of doubt because Battiston can see that Emura could easily retreat and pull her short, but equally she could hit her on prep as well if she took too many steps forward before launching. And because Battiston's preparation was faster and a little less balanced, it makes it harder for her to react. She basically kind of has to guess. And ultimately she decides to hold her hand back and take an extra step forward. But Emura sees this and is immediately able to punish her for it. And later on in the match she does a similar attack on prep, where that little pause I was on about is a little bit more obvious. So next up we have a pull, or a full short, whatever you want to call it. We're going to look at the preparations again. So Emura does a slowish slide step and lands in quite a high position. Battiston again does a fairly aggressive double step, and if you see how she brings her back leg forwards, it shows how she is really looking to take over the attack and take the initiative by moving forwards. Now at this point she faces the same question as she did in the last point that we looked at, where either she lunges now or she holds on and takes an extra step forwards. But next Emura forces her into finishing early with this feint here. By accelerating and dropping forwards, Emura makes it feel like the distance is closing a lot quicker than it actually is. But the key detail here is the hand feint. Extending the hand forwards is a really good tool in distance deception because it makes the opponent feel threatened and close without actually having to be close. And also at this point, Emura's whole body is poised to accelerate backwards, but the hand feint does a really good job of disguising that. So then Battiston falls short, and look how perfect this is, because Emura retreated just enough to make a miss, but not too far that Battiston would have the chance to recover. So she can immediately punish the Italian while she is off balance. Beautiful. Okay, so on this one we're going to skip the start and go to this bit after Emura has fallen short. At the end of the piece with plenty of space behind her to play with. Straight away she recovers and keeps a fairly close distance. She starts doing various kinds of sharp advances with this kind of hand feint. But each time she does this, she takes a big step back. Now the key here for Emura is to keep the distance fairly close. If she retreats too far, Battiston will have space to accelerate into and will be able to push her off balance. Battiston is pretty balanced, so Emura can't just go with any random surprise trick. She has to use the space behind her to set up her move. And here is where it happens. At this point, Battiston is expecting Emura to retreat again, according to the pattern that she has already established. But no, Emura goes forward and bops her on the head when she was least expecting it. Here we're going to focus on the attack made by Emura. To start with, she does the usual kinds of footwork seen on long attacks, constantly trying to adjust to find the right distance. But what is really special is here. Starting from out of distance, she does a big step forwards and starts a lunge. This forces Battiston to retreat backwards in order to make the attack miss, pushing her off balance. Now, a key part is Emura started her acceleration from out of distance, which is a safe thing to do because it means you aren't going to run into any counterattacks. However, it also means that she is likely to fall short, but Emura manages to control the lunge into a step without falling short. In doing so, she keeps Battiston off balance so she can pin her to the back line and finish with a big beat attack. Here's a similar example with Sébastien Patry's, where he converts two lunges into steps in order to keep Jagodka running for his life. The power and control is incredible. Wow. So the preparations here are similar to the very first point that we looked at, where Emura does her small double step and Battiston does her aggressive prep. Battiston sees that Emura is not very low on her legs, not very balanced, so she launches her attack. And Emura tries for the skyhook but misses. Now, a lot of lower level fencers, if they were in Battiston's position, now they would step back and go into defense mode since they just missed her attack. But Battiston does the right thing of immediately taking over again. But what Emura does now is pretty outrageous. With a little hand feint, she triggers Battiston's lunge yet again, and this time successfully lands the skyhook. What won this point for Emura was the subtle little hand feint here. Without that, Battiston probably wouldn't have triggered so early, and would have trampled Emura all the way to the back line. This touch is just so outrageous. Anyway, as I said, this match is an absolute masterclass from Emura. It's well worth watching in full. You can learn a lot from each touch. So there's a bit of homework for you if you want. These kind of videos take a lot of time to make, and if you want to support the channel, I've got some new stuff out which you can buy. Click the link in the description to have a look. I'm always looking at making bigger and better projects, but these probably all will leave me out of pocket, which I don't mind, but any support would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, thanks, see ya.